Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper 1-3 of IGCSE for May-June 2020. Okay, so let's move on to question number 1. We will do all the questions in this video step by step, okay? So here we have f of x is equal to this function for x is any values, okay? And here we have g of x is equal to this for any values of x as well. Now part 1, find the range of f and find the range of g. So here you can see that f is what? F is an exponential function. Now you have to know that exponential is always bigger than 0. Because of that, now we have 3 plus exponential. It will always be bigger than 3. So the range of f of x, you can write f is bigger than 3. Okay, and now for this one, as you can see, this is a straight line, right? 9x minus 5, it is a straight line. If you were to draw the line, it will look something like this. Basically, here we have your x, here we have your y, and it has a positive gradient. It has to be going in this direction. Now, the range is the y values. As you can see, the range of g is anything in the real numbers as well, because it can be from negative infinity to infinity. You just keep going on in both directions. That will be the range for part 1. Now for part B, we have to find the exact solution for this one. But first we have to find one by one. Let's first find what is f inverse of x. So first step is to let fy equal to f of x, which is 3 plus exponential x. Now from this we have to make x become your subject of formula. You will have this at first as y minus 3, and then x will be ln y minus 3, right? But we have to write f inverse in terms of x, so that will be ln x minus 3. Now what is g prime of x? It is just differentiation of this one. That should give you 9. Now replace those two back in the main equation. So on one side you will have this one, which is ln x minus 3 is equal to this side, which is 9. Now simplify. When you send ln over the other side, it will become exponential 9. X will be 3 plus exponential 9. So this will be the exact solution for this equation. That is part B. Now for part C, we have to find the solution of this one. Now first thing you have to know is that what is g squared of x? Usually we make mistakes on this question because we tend to square the values, but you have to know g squared of x is actually g of x. So that will be 9 g of x minus 5, which is 9 times 9x minus 5 minus 5. Now simplify, that will be 81x minus 45 minus 5, which is 81x minus 50. Now replace back in your equation, you will have 81x minus 50 is equal to 112. So 81x will be what value? We can check using your calculator. Well, you don't need that right now. We can just do this directly. So we have 112 plus this, that should give you 1, 7, and 2, right? So x will be your value of 2. Okay, and that is your answer for question number 1. So just give me one moment, I'll be back with my calculator. So okay, so now I'm back with my calculator, we can move on, or we can double check this value again just to confirm. So 112 plus 50, that's 162. So made a mistake here, silly mistake, but divided by 81, that should give you the same value. Okay, that should be 2. Now let's move on to question number 2. So given that log base of 2x plus 2 log of base 4y equal to 8, find the value of xy. So pretty easy. We have first to simplify this one, because here we have log of base 2, here we have log of base 4. We have to change this, right? So here we have 2 log base 4y. First thing is we cancel the 2 here as a power. You will have log of base 4y square, right? Now for this one, we can rewrite this down as log of base 2, the value on top, and then log of base 2, 4. Now this is on top, you will have 2 log 2y divided by 2, because this is what, if you check, this is simply log base 2 power 2. 2 will go in front, you will have 2 log of 2. So this is 1, so you will have 2 at the bottom. So these 2 will cancel out, so you will have log base 2y. So replace back in your equation. So on one side you will have log base 2x plus this became log base of 2y is equal to 8. Now combining those two together, because they have the same base, we can just, when you have plus, it becomes multiply. So your answer becomes xy will be 2 power 8, which is 256. That will be your answer for part A. Now let's move on to part B. Using substitution of y equal to 2 power x, or otherwise solve this equation. So let's use that. It is very wise to use this. It'll make it easier for you. So let's first expand those and see what can we do. So that will become 2x times 2 power 1 minus 2 power x times 2 this, and 2 power x plus 1 equal to 0. Now we have to replace the value of 2 power x by y. So this will become y squared 2 minus 2y minus, this is simply y plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, so here we have this. Simplify. You will have 2y squared minus 3y plus 1 equal to 0. Now this one is a simple quadratic equation. So here we have 2y, y equal to 0. 1 is just 1 times 1. To get minus 3, we have to have minus 2 and minus 1. So your answer is y is equal to half, y is equal to 1. But again, we don't want to find the value of y, we want to find the value of x. Replace back your main equation, because we know that y is actually equal to 2 power x. So 2 power x will be half, and 2 power x will be 1. So to find the value of x, we have to take ln on both sides. Right, you will have this, and ln here as well. Now again, here you will have, you have to bring this down. So basically we can bring this down now. Okay, so x will be ln of this divided by ln of 2. Here you will have x is ln of 1 divided by ln of 2. But another thing here is x, so ln of 1 is actually 0. So this is 0. How about this one? It will be, if you check this, we can do something here. If you observe, what is ln of half? Ln of half can be written as ln of 2 power minus 1, which is minus 1 ln of 2. And if you replace this back here, you will have minus 1 ln of 2 over ln of 2. That will give you minus 1. So values of x will be this or this. So that will be your answer for question number 2. Now let's move on to question number 3. At time ts, a particle traveling in a straight line has acceleration, this equation. So this is your A for your acceleration, which is 2t plus 1 power minus half meters per second square. Now, when t equal to 0, the particle is 4 meters from a fixed point O. Okay, good. So basically, it means that at time equal to 0, the displacement relative to the point O was 4. Now, and is traveling at the velocity of this. So the velocity at time 0 was 8 meters per second. Now question part 1 is to find the velocity of the particle at time t. So you have to know v is equal to integration of a by dt. That will be 2t plus 1 power minus half dt. So you will have 2t plus 1, but first you have to increase by 1, you will have half. Then divide by the power, then divide by the differentiation of the inside, that will give you 2. And of course you have to write plus c. Now simplify, those two will cancel out. So you will have root 2t plus 1 plus c. This is v. But now you have to find the value of c. So you have to use this information. At time t equal to 0, v is equal to 8. So 8, that will be root of 0 plus 1 is 1 plus c. So c will be 7. So finally, v will be root of 2t plus 1 plus 7. And this is your answer for part A. Now for part B, we have to find the displacement of the particle at time t. So how do you find displacement s? You can call it s or x, up to you. It is equal to integration of v by dt. That will be of 2t plus 1 power half plus 7 dt. Now we have to solve one by one again. So we have to first increase the power by 1. That will be 3 over 2. Divide by the power. Then divide by the differentiation of the inside. That will give you 2. Now of course plus 7t and plus c for your constant. Now simplify, these two will cut out. So you will have this remaining, s is equal to 1 over 3, 2t plus 1, 3 over 2, plus 7t plus c. Now we have to find the value of c. We have to use the initial values given to us. When t equal to 0, we know s was equal to 4. So going back, s is equal to 4 when t was 0. That will be 3 over 2 plus 0 plus c. So basically c is equal to 4 minus 1 over 3, which is 2 over 3. That will be, so 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 11 over 3. So let's write down the equation. So s is equal to, for your displacement, it is 1 over 3, 2t plus 1 power 3 over 2 plus 7t plus 11 over 3. And that is your equation for part B. This is question number 3. Let's move on to question number 4. So here we have to write down this equation in the form of this. So we have to complete the squares. So one by one. So here we have 2, but first let's write this down again as 2x squared plus 3x. Leave some space here, write minus 4. So now you observe this is 2. So you want this, you always want this to become 1. So you have to factorize 2 outside. You will have x squared. 3 divided by 2 will be 1.5, right? X, bracket, and minus 4. So now you want to add a number here. The number will be this value here, which is 1.5 divided by 2 square. Now, when you add something, you also want to minus the same value because you don't want your equation to change. So you will have the same value minus at the end. Now, since it was inside the bracket, you also have to take out the 2 with it. Now, here you will have 2. This is x. Here we have plus. And here we have, what is 1.5 divided by 2? It is 0.75. This is the inside value, of course. I'm not taking the square, and the square will be outside. Now we have to simplify this. So minus 4 minus 2, 1.5 over 2 square. That will be minus 5.125. So as you can see, it is in the form of this, where a is 2, b is this value, and c is this value. And this curve is a minimum curve because the coefficient of x squared is positive. It will have a shape like this. So just so you know. Now part B, we have to write down, hence means to use the value from part A, write down the coordinates of the stationary point on this curve. So pretty easy. The point will be inside, so you have to take the inside value and equate that to 0. So we have this, equate to 0, so x will be equal to minus 0.75. So the point will be, x value is minus 0.75, and the y value will be just this value at the back, which is minus 5.125. Okay, and that is your answer for part B. Now let's move on to part C. On the axis below, sketch the graph of y equal to the same equation, but here we have modulus. So what does modulus mean? Modulus means it has to be positive. So anything that goes below this line will be reflected onwards. That's what it means. Now showing the exact values of the intercepts of the curve with the axis. So you want to know where your curve cuts your x and your y-axis. That's what it means by the questions. So let's do one by one. So you want to know where it cuts your x-axis. For example, you want to know at x-axis, let me write this down. At x-axis, we know the value of y is 0. So basically, we take the equation, we have 2x plus 0.75 square minus 5.125 is equal to 0 because it is on the x-axis. Now let's find the possible values of x. So one by one, you will have x plus 0.75 square is equal to 5.125 divided by 2. That will be 2.5625. You have to apply square root to the value. It will give you something like this, which is not exact. So x plus 0.75 is equal to plus minus 1.6. Now from this, x can be 1.6 minus 0.75. That will be 0.85. Or it can be minus 1.6 minus 0.75. Or x can be minus 2.35. So that are the two possible values of x on the on the x-axis, on this axis, right? Now what else? We have to find the other one now. On your y-axis, we know the value of x must be 0. So let's do this. Let's do this right here. We have some space here. So on the y-axis, x has to be 0. Replace, you will have y will be 0 plus 0 minus 4. Your value will be minus 4. Now, so the thing I like to do is I like to ignore the modulus sign. I like to first draw my regular graph, and then afterwards I apply the modulus by reflecting everything which comes down will be going up. So one by one, right? Now the first step is, let me mark down my points. So my minimum point is this value. Let me mark this down. That will be about, let's say, about here. That's my minimum point. So my final answer will be in blue color. So right now it's only my draft. I will be doing in brown color. Just like you guys can use your pencil, you can do that first, okay? So that will be my minimum point, and that will be my, let's say this is my point on my x. This is the first point that sits here. And then let's say the other one will be around here, for example. for example, right? So I'll have a shape like this. Has to be in this shape. Okay, that's everything which is downwards. Of course, when it comes upwards, I will just continue with my blue line because that is my final answer. Okay, this will be in this direction. Okay, that will be the blue part. So now you have to label the sides where it cuts your x-axis. You have to show them where exactly it cuts. So here we have approximately 0.85, and here we have minus 2.35, and for this value here you can show minus 4, but that is, of course, it is not your real answer for now. You have to reflect that on top. So this will go up about here. It doesn't need to be exact. You just need to show that you know what's happening. So that will be the reflection of your curve to the positive side. So this has to be positive 4 now. So you have to show this one. So basically, in the end, you have to erase the yellow curve. You have to only show the blue one. Okay, that will be your answer, and you have to label your curve. Okay, 3x minus 4. That is your question for part C. Now let's move on to part D. So here we have to find the value of k, for which this equation has exactly 3 values. Now what is this? This is just y equal to k. As you know, y equal to a constant. It is a horizontal line. So you want to know when this horizontal line has 3 values of x. If you observe, if you go back to your graph, when I draw my line here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 values. No, so this is too much, right? Now, if I draw my line here, again I have 1, 2, 3, 4 values. But what if I draw my line at the maximum value here on top, right? You will have 1, 2, and 3 values. So for this value of k, it will have 3 possible values of x. So what is that line? It has to go through the maximum value, which is basically the reflection of your minimum value. So basically we write y is equal to 5.125. That is your maximum point of this graph. So that will be your value of k. So k, right? K, not y, k. This value. And that will be your question number 4. Let's move on to question number 5. So here we have p of x equal to this equation where a and b are integers. Integers are whole numbers, okay? It can be negative or positive, but it needs to be whole numbers. Now p of x has a remainder of 11 when divided by this factor, and a remainder of minus 21 when divided by this. Now question here, given that p of x is equal to this, find q of x. It is a quadratic factor with numerical coefficients. So let's do one by one. Let's first go and find the values of a and b, right? And then we can find those values. So one by one. So first we know p of x when divided by this, which is x is 3. So you look here, we have x minus 3. So we have to equate that to 0 to find the value of x. So x will be 3. So we take 3. We know it is supposed to give you minus 21. But first, let's replace those values back in the equation. So 6 times 27 plus 8 times 9 plus 12 times 3 plus b, and that is minus 21. Simplify. 6 times 27, that will be 162 plus 9a plus 36 plus b is equal to minus 21. Now we have 9a plus b is equal to, so we have minus 21 minus 36 minus 162, that will be minus 219. That is equation number 1. Now same steps, let's find the, for this one. So p of the value of minus 1, that will be 6 minus 1 plus a of 1 plus 12 of minus 1 plus b. This will give you remainder of minus 21. So here I made a mistake. You see, the remainder here is actually 11, not minus 21. So this one is minus 21, but this one is plus 11. Okay, so this will be a different value here. Plus 11 minus 36 minus 162. That will give you minus 187. So 187. Okay, that will be the real equation, not the first one that I wrote. Now simplify. This will become minus 6 plus a minus 12 plus b equal to minus 21. So a plus b will be minus 21 plus 12 plus 6. That will be minus 3, and that is your equation number 2. Now let's make a or b become subject of formula. So we can make b here. So b is equal to minus 187 minus 9a. Now replace b back in this equation. You will have a plus b, which is 187 minus 9a is equal to minus 3. Simplify now. A minus 9 will be minus 8, and minus 3 plus 187, that will be 184. A will be divided by minus 8, that should be minus 23. That is your value of a. Now the value of b will be replaced back in your main equation. Minus 187 minus 9 times minus 23. That will be 20. So right now you know p of x looks like this. 6x cubed minus 23 x squared plus 12x and plus 20. That is how p of x looks like. Now, by having this equation here, we know this is a factor because it is factorized from p of x. So we know that is a factor, we can find q of x. So we'll find q of x by doing a long division. So this is p of x inside, plus 12x and plus 20. The factor will be x minus 2. Now, how can you make x become 6x cubed? You have to multiply by 6 first, and then x squared, you will have 6x cubed, and then this time this will be minus 12x squared. This will go away. You have minus 23 minus minus 12, that will be minus 11x squared, plus 12x plus 20. Now, same thing. How can you make x becomes minus 11x squared? You have to multiply by minus 11 first, and then x, you will have minus 11x squared. And this time this will be plus 22x. So this will go away. This will be minus 10 plus 20. Now, how can you make x become minus 10? You have to multiply by minus 10. That will become minus 10x plus 20. So that will be 0. So finally, you can write down p of x is equal to x minus 2 times the one on top. That will be this minus 11x minus 10. And this is equal to your q of x. Now let's move on to the other part, b. Hence solve this equation. So hence mean to use your value from part 1. We have to solve this equation. This and this thing minus 10 equal to 0. So here we know x has to be 2. How about this one? We can try to factorize and see what can be done. So that will be 3x times 2x. 10 can be 5. 5 times 2, right? Okay, so 3x times 5 will be 15. You have to have minus 15 plus 4 to get minus 11. So x can be minus 2 over 3. X can be 5 over 2. So finally, your values of x is equal to minus 2 over 3, 5 over 2, and 2. That is your solution for that equation. And this is your question number 5. Now let's move on to question number 6. So here we have to find the unit vector in this direction. So pretty easy. First we have to write down the vector itself and then divide by the magnitude of the vector. So this is the same on top, no change. Divide by the magnitude, that will be this. 25, which is 5 square, plus 144, which is 12 square. That will be 5 minus 12, root of 169. That should be 5 again minus 12 divided by 13. So your answer will be 5 over 13 minus 12 over 13. That will be the unit vector in this direction. Now for part B, we have this equation. We have to find the values of k and r. So one by one, simplify. On top you will have k minus 4 minus 2k is equal to minus 10r. And then you have 1 plus 3k equal to 5r. That is equation number 1. Equation number 2. So I can make this one become subject of formula. You can do that, or we can just use this one. Use 5k here, right? So r will be 1 plus 3k divided by 5. Now replace r in this r. So you will have 4 minus 2k is equal to minus 10. R is 1 plus 3k divided by 5. Simplify. This will go away. This will be minus 2. So you will have 4 minus 2k is equal to minus 2 times 1 plus 3k. That will be 4 minus 2k minus 2 minus 6k. Simplify, you will have, send this over here, you will have minus 2 plus 6, that will be 4k. And this will be minus 2 minus 4 minus 6. So k will be minus 3 over 2. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, minus 3 over 2. And let's find the value of r. R will be 1 plus 3 times k, which is minus 3 over 2, divided by 5. 1 plus 3 times minus 3 over 2, divided by 5. That will be 1 over 10. That is your value of r, and this is your value of k. And that is your question part A and part B of number 6. Now let's move on to part C of the question. Now relative to a point O, we have the points A, B, and C have position vectors P, this, and this. So which means, so you have to understand, whenever you see relative to O, it means that OA is P, OB is 3Q minus this, and OC is 9Q minus 5Q. Now one by one, find AB. You have to know AB is equal to OB minus OA. That will be OB is 3Q minus P. That will be 3Q minus 2P. Now part 2, find AC. AC will be OC minus OA. OC is 9Q minus 5P minus O is P. So that will be 9Q minus 6P. Now question part 3. Explain why A, B, and C all lie in a straight line. So let's have a look to see what do we have. We have AC equal to this one, and we have AB equal to this and AC equal to this. But if you observe, if you were to do this, factorize 3 outside, you will have 3Q minus 2P. As you can see, this inside is the same, so let's write this down. So from part 1 and 2, we have AB is equal to 3Q minus 2P, and we have AC is equal to 3 times 3Q minus 2P. So same direction, as you can see here, these two are the same. So basically it means that we have proven that they are all in a straight line. So thus A, B, C all lie in a straight line. By proving these two are the same. Now for part 4, we have to find the ratio of A, B, and BC. So pretty easy. Let's draw the line first to have a look. We have A, and here we have C. Right. So here we have B. Now as you can see, the ratio of AC and AB is 3 to 1, which means this big one is 3 and this one is 1, which means this is 2. Ratio of AB to BC is 1 to 2. Okay, that is your answer for part 4. That is your question number 6. Now let's move on to question number 7. So here we have what? We have a diagram shows an isosceles triangle, which is OAB, okay? And we have the angle OAB is theta radians. The points C and D lie on OA and OB respectively, such that CD is an arc of a circle, okay? Now radius 10 and the area, so here we have to use this. Area of sector OCD is this one, okay? Question number 1, to show that theta equal to this. So pretty easy, we have to use this value. How do you find area of sector? It is by the formula half r square times theta is supposed to give you this value. So theta will be 10 square divided by 2, 50, 35 divided by answer. That will be 0.7 radians. That is your value of theta shown as required. Now for part B, we have to find the perimeter of the shaded region. So in the question, you will see this part will be your shaded region. So perimeter means the distance around. So how do you find the distance around for that region? It will be this length, this length, this length, and this length. So we know this is 10 and this is 12, so this has to be 2. How about this one? This is length of arc, can be obtained by your formula, which is arc length is r theta. R is 10, theta is 0.7, that will be 7. How about this one? AB is this length of the triangle. You can find this by using your cosine rule. So let's do that. So side AB cosine rule, that will be cos of the angle, which is 0.7, is equal to 12 square plus 12 square minus AB square divided by 2 times 12 times 12. That is a formula you have to know for your cosine rule, okay? Now we have to cross multiply. That will give you what? So 2 times 12 times 12, that will be 288. Cos of 0.7, that will be 288 minus AB square. So AB square will be 288 minus 288 cos of 0.7 radians. Now let's do that. So 288 minus 288 cos of, have to use radians here, 0.7, that will be 67.725. So finally AB has to be square root of that. That will be 8.22955. But that is not your answer. Your answer will be the perimeter. So perimeter P will be, let's begin from here. That will be 2 plus this plus 2 plus 7. Okay, so 2 plus AB, which is this, plus 2 and plus 7 plus. So 2 plus answer plus 2 plus 7. That should be 19.2, and will be centimeters, of course. And that will be your answer, correct to 3SF. Now for part C, we have to find the area of that region. So if you observe, how can you find the area? You first have to find the area of the whole triangle minus area of sector. And how can you find the area of triangle? By using your formula, which is half times sine of the angle and times the two sides, which is 12 times 12. Minus area of sector has been given to you by 35 from your question, right? Half sine of, so let's do half of 12 times 12. It's always better to do it in that way, and then minus 35. That will be 11.4 centimeter square, correct to 3SF. So that will be your question number 7. So as you have seen, we did every question step by step, and it turned out every question was pretty simple. Everything was done step by step. So if you guys want to do question practice, always remember to do step by step, because as you can see, everything goes clearly for you and you know what to look for and what to find. So it's always best for you when you do your questions step by step. Anyways, let's move on to question number 8. So here we have a sequence. It shows that an arithmetic progression. So here we know already it is an arithmetic progression. So whenever you see that, go back to your formula and look at your equations given to you. So here we have arithmetic series. So let's write down those two formulas first. So we have to use them in the question. So the n term is equal to A is your first term, n minus 1 times d. And the sum of the first n term is equal to half n to a plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, now we can proceed with the question. It says the first term has a first term of 7, so a is 7, we know this, and the common difference of 0.4. Okay, now find the least number of terms so that the sum of progression is bigger than this. So basically we want to know what is the value of n for which the sum has to be more than this. So let's find out. We place back in our formula half, n we don't know, we want to find n. 2a is 14 plus n we don't know, we want to find n, and d is 0.4, and that should give you more than 300. That is our goal, right? Is at least bigger than, for it to be bigger than 300. That is our goal. Now we have to simplify. Let's see what can we do. So let's first send 2 over here. You will have n, that will be 14 plus n minus 1, 0.4, that will be 600. Now let's expand. You will have 14 n plus 0.4 n minus 1 more than 600. Okay, now let's simplify again. You will have 14n plus 0.4 n squared minus 0.4 n more than 600. Now let's send everything to one side. You will have 0.4 n squared. Now 14 minus this will become plus 13.6 n, yeah, and then minus 600 will be more than 0. Now let's see how can we solve this equation. So this is a quadratic equation, and these values are in decimal place, so let's make this become whole numbers. Let's multiply everywhere by 10. You will have 4 n squared plus 136 n minus 6000. Can we simplify this more? Let's check. 136 divided by 4, it is exact, so let's divide everywhere by number 4. You will have n squared plus 136 divided by 4 will be what? Let's try. That will be 34. So let's try again. N squared plus 34 minus, so 6000 divided by 4, that will be 1500. Is more than 0. That is n here, of course. Now we have to solve this quadratic equation. Now this seems to be big numbers, and we have to try to see what are the factors of 1500. So 1500, let's divide by 50, that will give you 30. Let's divide by 75, that will give you 20. And does it work? No, it doesn't work. So let's try to do by our formula. So n will be minus b plus minus root of, what is b squared minus 4ac? So 34 squared minus 4 times a times c. That will be this value, which is, it is not exact. So let's see. That will be b squared minus 4 times a times c. That will be 7156 divided by 2. Now, of course, n can only be a positive value. We cannot take negative n. So let's just use the positive value of n. So which is minus 34 plus root of 7156 divided by 2. That will be, n has to be 25.296. Now, as you can see, based on the question, it has to be the least number, so it has to be more than this. So it has to be, this is not a whole number, so the next term has to be 26. So your answer has to be n is equal to 26. Okay, because if you were to choose 25, it will be less than 300. It will not be enough, because we have to have 25.9296, but 296 is not a whole number. It cannot be a term value. So we have to look at the next number after 25, which is 26. Now we know at the 26th term, it will be bigger than this. So basically solve step by step, and then you will have something like this. If you can factorize, use your formula and find the values. Okay, that will be part A. Now for part B, we have to the sum of two terms of a geometric sequence. This is given to you already, so go back to your list of formulas and then look at geometric sequence. You can see this is given to you already. So let's write down. The n term has been given to you by a times r n minus 1, and the sum to infinity has been given to you by a over 1 minus r. Now, it says the sum of the first two terms of a geometric sequence is this. So, what is the first term? u1, that is a r0, which is a. What is the second term? u2, which is a r1. The sum of the first two terms is a plus ar is equal to 9. That is our first equation. And then its sum to infinity is 36. So this is 36, which means a over 1 minus r is 36. Simplify, you will have a is equal to 36 minus 36r. That is my second equation. Now what else? Let's see. Given that the terms of the progression are positive, so we have to find the positive value of the common ratio. So that is important here, to find this common ratio, which means the value of r. So let's replace a in your equation. You will have 36 minus 36r plus 36 minus 36r times r is equal to 9. So let's expand. That will become something like this, 9. So these two will cancel out, right? So you will have 36 on one side, r square, is equal to this minus this. So 36 minus 9, that should be 27. R square will be 27 divided by 36. That will be 0.75. So r has to be square root of 0.75, but we only will keep the positive value because here it says it has to be positive. So this will be so root of this, so usually it's what value? Root 3 over 2. No. Yep, same value. So but we can write this if you want to. It is good enough. Instead of trying to find the other value, which is root 3 over 2, that should be fine. So your common ratio r is equal to square root of 0.75, which is the positive value of that. And that is your question number 8. So now we have question number 9. So in your question, you will have this as your shaded region. So this part here, it will be shaded. Okay, that is in your question. Now the diagram shows part of a curve xy equal to 2 intersecting the straight line y. So this is the curve intersecting the straight line y at the point A. And the straight line also meets the x-axis at the point B. Now the point C lies on the x-axis and the point D lies on the curve, such that line CD has equation x equal to 3. So this is the line x equal to 3. Now question is to find the exact area, so you have to know this, of the region, giving your answers in the form of this. So let's do this step by step. First step, let's cut our graph into two parts so we can find our area easily. First step, we have to find area of A here and area of B here. A is a simple area of a triangle, which is found by half times base times height. To find this, we have to find this point and this point. So the point A is found by the intersection of the curve and the line. So the curve is xy is 2, and the line is y equal to 5x minus 3. Now replace this value back in here. You will have x times 5x minus 3 is equal to 2. So 5x squared minus 3x is equal to 2. Now let's bring everything to one side. You will have this minus this will be 0. Factorize. That will be 5x times x. That will be 2 times 1. To get minus 3, we have to have minus 5 and plus 2. That will be x will be minus 2 over 5. X will be 1. So that is the value that we need, because if you look at this, because the value of x-axis is in the positive place, we cannot take the value of x to be negative, it has to be positive. So this is 1. But what is the y value? Let's find the y if you need to. Let me just find this just in case. So y is 1, so y is 2. So this is 2. Okay, so basically we know this is the point 1, and the height here is 2. Now what is the point B? The point B is pretty easy. It is just where the line meets the x-axis. The point B will be at x-axis. We know what? We know the value of y has to be 0. That will be 0 equal to 5x minus 3. X will be 3 over 5, which is 0.6. So point B is 0.6. So from this now we can find the area of A. If you observe, A is a triangle. Half times base. Base is what? It is this distance, which is 0.4, and times height. Height is 2. That will be 0.4 units square for the value of A. Now for the value of B, we have to find by integration for the area. So this one is 1, this one is 3. So the curve is equal to what? The curve is xy is equal to 2. Now we have to make y become your subject, so y will be 2 divided by x. Now to find the area of B, we have to do this by integration. Limits will be 3 and 1, and this will be 2 over x by dx. That will be 2 ln of x, and limits will be 3, 1. So that will be 2 ln of 3 minus 2 ln of 1. This will be 0. That will be 2 ln of 3, which is ln of 3 power 2, which is ln of 9. This is the area of B. So finally, shaded area will be A plus B. A was 0.4 plus B is ln of 9. It is exactly in this form where P and Q are constants. It did not say integers, it says constant. These two are constant values. And that will be your answer for question number 9. Now let's move on to question number 10. Given that y is equal to this equation, we have to show dy by dx equal to something like this. So one by one, here you observe we have square root. Now what is square root? It is only power of half. So let's write this down as y equal to x times x plus 2 power half. Now it is clear that these two are product. You have to use your product rule to find dy by dx. So dy by dx will be, so first you can choose either one. We can write the second one as it is, and times d by dx of the first one, that will be 1, and plus the first one as it is, then d by dx of this one, that will be half, x plus 2, then minus 1, so half minus 1 will be minus half, and times d by dx of the inside will be 1. Simplify, this will be root of x plus 2, plus this will be x on top, and below you will have 2 root of x plus 2. Now as you can see here, we have just two fractions we have to simplify. So one by one, we have to make it become the same base, which is 2 root of x plus 2. So we do this by multiplying them by each other and then cross multiplying. So here 1 times this will be the same thing, and this time this will be 2, and the inside will become this. You have 2x plus 4 plus x divided by 2 root of x plus 2. Now your answer will be 3 plus x, so 2 plus x will be 2x plus x will be 3x plus 4 divided by 2 root of x plus 2. Now this is your answer in this form as required, where a and b are constant. A is 3, b is 4. That is your question number 10, part A. Now let's move on to part B. We have to find the exact coordinates of the stationary points. So you guys know this already. At stationary points, we know dy by dx have to be 0. So we know dy by dx is now equal to 3x plus 4 over 2 root of x plus 2, and that has to equal to 0. 0 is 0 over 1, so we have to cross multiply. You will have 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. X will be minus 4 over 3. That is your x value. Now we have to find the y value. Replace back in your equation. Now we minus 4 over 3 times root of minus 4 over 3 plus 2. That will be 1. So minus 4 over 3 plus 2, that will be 2 over 3. So this, and then 2 over 3. So this is your point. Point will be x value was minus 4 over 3, and the y value was minus 4 over 3 times root of 2 over 3. This is your stationary point. And last thing, we have to find the nature of this point. So the nature, we have to use d2y by dx2. So we know d2y by dx2, we have to differentiate dy by dx. So we know this is this, so it is a fraction. We have to use our quotient rule. So let's write this down again. Dy by dx can be written as 3x plus 4 divided by, let's write this as power of half, right? So first thing, we have to write down the denominator as it is. So you will have 2x plus 2 power half. Then multiply by d by dx of this one, that will be 3. Then minus, write down the numerator as it is, and multiply by d by dx of this one. So 2 is only a multiple, that will be half, and then x plus 2, that will become minus half, and times 1, right? So simplify. Of course, we have to divide by everything over the base square, over 2x plus 2 power half square. So simplify. This will cut out. And here you will have 6 root of x plus 2 minus 3x plus 4 over root of x plus 2, and then everything divided by 4x plus 2. Right. Now we have to, because the base, as you can see here, the base is always going to be positive for that value of x, because we have to test for this value of x for minus 4 over 3. So if you look at this, if x equal to minus 4 over 3, it will be a positive value. So we can just ignore that because we know the base will be positive. Okay, let's look at the top. What is the value of the top if this happens? So let's find one by one. X is minus 4 over 3. That is your answer. Now we have to do 6 times square root of the inside will be answer plus 2. That will be 4.89897 minus, so answer again is what is, so we have 3 times minus 4 over 3 plus 4 divided by, that is square root of minus 4 over 3 plus 2. That is 0. So now you realize the top value will be positive value divided by positive value. So your answer has to be a positive value, if that makes sense. So the top will be, so this minus this will be the same value, which is a positive value. So the goal of this d2y by dx2 is to find out for this value of x, is it positive or negative? But now we have seen that when we do all this, we realize that your answer will be positive at the value of x equal to minus 4 over 3. And that means you can write down, since d2y by dx2, it is positive value, we conclude that the stationary point minus 4 over 3 root 2 over 3 is a minimum point. So now, if it was negative, it will be a maximum point. So a positive will be minimum point. So I believe this is the last question of this paper. I hope that was somewhat helpful. As always, thank you for watching. I will see you soon.